How are you all? My name is Celia Pena, and I'm with Lift Fund, based out of San Antonio, and I support the bill that's being presented, 1629. Nonprofit lenders play a critical role to small business accessing capital. We serve as a solution. We are a CDFI as well, as you heard People Fund, and also the gentleman who just spoke as well. For entrepreneurs, we provide a critical role for starting or growing their business. And to banks, we actually help them deploy capital so that they can meet their CRA or CRA credits. Adding a crowdfunding option will diversify our ability to provide capital to a diverse base of Texas entrepreneurs. As one of the largest nonprofit micro business lenders in the U.S., Lift Fund has provided $180 million in loans capital to over 15,000 entrepreneurs with an active portfolio of $40 million. We are based in San Antonio but serve Texas and 7 other states in the Mid-South, and were founded in 1994. As I stated, we are here in support of the inclusion of nonprofit small business lenders in crowdfunding. We'd like to have our options of being able to participate in growing and diversifying our ecosystem of business lending with this tool. Today, we provide $2 million and change in small business debt a month to 140 to 150 entrepreneurs. Our deployment rate for our capital is of about 90%, and we raise on average $8 to $10 million a year in order for us to meet the demands that are on us. As you can see, we do a lot of work, and we love our work. Our average loan size is $14,000, just to give you context around what we do. And our track record for 20 years also provides a prime example of why this bill is important. One of the elements of crowdfunding is also for us to be able to diversify the entrepreneur base of who it serves. So serving women, serving minorities, as the representative also reflected on veterans as well. So our borrowers makeup, 26% are startup, 40% are women, 22% are African American, 60% are Hispanic, 3% Asian and Indian, 15% white, 10% veteran, 75% in low to moderate income as entrepreneurs as well. 58% of our borrowers have a subprime credit score, and 8% have a thin or no credit score at all. And our success rate for repayment is at 96%. So when you ask about trust and where do we sit, I think as organizations that are coming to you in support of this bill, we believe that we actually have a great track record and great transparency for our investors as well. We are currently a partner with a national crowdfunding organization called Kiva, if you've heard of them before, an online crowdfunding platform. They actually provide us a line of credit for us to actually provide loans to entrepreneurs. We'd love to have an ecosystem that keeps money here in Texas for the investor, for the entrepreneur, and for us as well. And we've actually started talking to several different for-profit agencies who are in front of the Securities Board. Lendor is one of them, and Mass Venture just received its certification from the Security of how we can provide gap products for them to provide a portion of capital and for us to provide an additional support for the entrepreneur. If provided the opportunity in this crazy, complex financial market, we'd love to be able to provide our expertise and support for small minority women-owned businesses in Texas through crowdfunding. Thank you.
Representative?
Hi there. Thank you.
Hi.
I think I wished you good morning earlier, but
anyway. Yes, and good evening.
Good evening. Anyway, I wanted to ask, because we're talking about the trust and the trust issue, and obviously financial investing, that's a prime requisite for doing anything.
Right.
So I'm looking at some of these special provisions, and one of the special provisions in the fact sheet that we have is eliminating the prohibition on entities offering crowdfunding investments for businesses in which they have a financial interest. And so what we're saying here is, and we were trying to, I'm trying to understand how this goes, but let's say there's a CDFI or your group or People Fund, and they go and they have a loan.
Right.
Then I guess the current prohibition would say, you know what, if I'm that fund and I have a loan with this company, then right now I'm prohibited from trying to get random people, the crowd, if you will,
Right.
to go and invest in that same company. And the reason a prohibition might exist there is that I have a self-interest, right? If let's say I don't think the company's doing well, I want to make sure my loan is paid back.
Right.
Then what I say to really non-accredited investors is, hey, why don't you guys invest in this deal, and then I'll make sure to be able to pay my interest and so on. Do you see maybe a problem with that at all?
So in terms of asking folks to invest with us into an opportunity, I would say that right now we currently provide at least 5 different loans, meaning we have 2 businesses for sure that have already done equity investments on their own and have our loan too.
Yeah.
So they actually are trying to use as many tools as possible to grow their business, because the investor only wants a limited amount of risk, and so do we, right?
Right.
But together we're actually making a pie, but separately. So I would say that maybe there potentially needs to be regulation or at least transparency on what the commitment is, and not for us to just bank on blind investments, right? So are you protecting my risk as an organization? You're taking risk with me, and we welcome that.
Sure. I guess my question is, if the fund makes a $100,000 loan
Right.
to someone, and then you go out on a portal to raise money, have you, and I guess your company,
Right.
have you ever used that money to pay yourselves interest or principal or equity?
So at this time, no.
Okay. So those monies have never
No.
gone from one to another. Okay.
So for the Kiva platform, just so you know, they've basically given us a line of credit to take risk ourselves. And so we'll do the due diligence that Amber spoke of. We'll underwrite a deal, right? So Selena comes to Live Fund, is provided a loan for $5,000. I actually have a line of credit, so they're an investor with us, for us to provide capital to them. And so from there, they're basically owner of that loan, right? But they've already paid us for that loan. So we've never swapped any interest or commitment fees that are related to it. And there's no earned revenue or a kicker or anything like that, because it's a one-dimensional type of debt solution.
Yeah, it's just interesting that's one of the provisions. So then another one is allowing these entities to contract out to a third party to run portals. What might be an entity that gets contracted out? Because I think of that almost as a broker in a way.
Right.
Who are some of those brokers?
So at this time, I would say there's probably several industry experts who are exploring this. The jobs bill included at the in DC a level of crowdfunding as well. So not sure if anything has come to fruition. The only organization that I know who does this at this national level is Kiva.
Okay.
So Kiva potentially could be a source as a third-party provider. They already do that with folks who do not provide debt. So they serve as a solution for someone who only does business counseling, and they want to be able to provide capital.
Okay. Thank you.
That's very good. Members, any further questions?
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Have a good evening.
Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. It was very enlightening. Thank you.